chick has $68,000 in her everyday bank account. You got to have good value. You got to be the priority.
In that moment, she was not choosing me, she was choosing the jacket.
You are the problem and you are the solution. One thing that people need to stop doing.
Because we're in an economic crisis, clients can't afford to come in, and if they do, they're trying to get a deal or a discount. But who can blame them? You can't even afford to put fresh flowers on reception or pay the rent. But here's where I think we're wrong. When you adopt a mindset that nobody can afford to come to the salon, then automatically you'll attract clients who will try to make a deal for a cheaper price, even though they probably can afford full price. So instead of getting stressed and flustered about this situation, let's step back and self-reflect. It's time to move towards a new marketing mindset. Because when you think like a marketer, not just a salon owner or a stylist or therapist, you begin to attract dream clients who don't try to ask for a discount or aren't voucher vultures. Instead, they choose to prioritize you, your service, and your salon with their money. I'm really excited to be sharing this episode with you, a chat I had with Millie. Now, she's a salon owner whose marketing mindset took her from a $15,000 a month to a $60,000 a month within 6 months after she bought it. But really quick, before we start, this episode is brought to you by Salon Mastery. Salon Mastery is a program that helps salon owners break through the growth ceiling. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, so you can step into being a salon CEO with $1 million salon. You'll learn the strategies to elevate your salon and become a successful and profitable business without the overwhelm, without the stress. No more 60-hour weeks. Okay, let's get into this episode with Millie. Here are her 3 steps to a marketing mindset. Hey, Millie, welcome to the Salon Owners Collective podcast. Really pleased that you're joining us.
Good morning, Larissa. Thank you so much for having me.
So before we get started, who the heck are you, Millie? Where are you in the world? Tell us your backstory. How did you get to be doing what you do right now?
Who am I? Who am I? Some days I ask myself, I'm like, who am I? Jolly, Roger, Peter, whatever. But today I am Millie Clay. I have been in this industry since I was 17. What I do today is I do advertising and marketing for salons, and I also own a salon as well, and I'm a hairdresser.
I love that. So give us the journey. You started as a stylist. How did you decide to go, well, I'm going to do marketing now?
So I actually started when I was 17. I had a really successful nail business. I bopped in and out into corporate, outside of corporate. And then in 2010, I decided I needed to take this more seriously. And I actually started my second proper beauty business in my son's bedroom. I went through all the realms. I went nails, beauty, makeup, lashes, and I ended up in hair by accident. Years later, I landed where I am today, where I do advertising for salons around the world. But I also, it's a funny story. One of my marketing clients was like, Millie, I'm done. I don't want my salon anymore. And I've been doing her advertising for years. And I said to her, what's going on? She goes, I've just checked out. And I said, give me your salon. And she's like, what? And I go, yes, I have your salon. Because I wanted to prove that my advertising works, because I have so many excuses all the time. I was like, give me. And she's like, okay, sweet. So I took on the salon as a side project because I was literally sick of talking to salons where they come up with excuses, they come up with all these stories. And I'm like, look, I want to show you how it's done. If you follow me and do this, this is what's going to work. Anyway, so when I took over in February, we were averaging about 15K months and using my advertising. I'm 6 months in and we're hitting the 60K marks. We should be at 80K by Christmas. So yeah.
Love that, Millie.
Yeah, total.
Okay, so you have this unique perspective on the industry from the inside out now, from the outside in and now from the inside out. What would you say would be, when it comes to marketing advertising, what do you think the biggest problem is that you see? Like, what is the challenge for you as a marketer for the industry that you just wish, if only I could tell salon owners this? Like, what's the problem? What are they doing wrong?
So there's two things. The first one is, and I understand this now, um, that we're trying to do too much. We're trying to do all the things when we really should delegate people in the area of expertise. It's just like you have I have a cleaner that comes into the salon, and this is what her job is. She goes and does that. I have my stylist who focus on you know, being stylist. I have, a coordinator that focuses. I actually use my marketing agency and I leave it in that lane. So I think we try to do too much and we need to really lean into people of expertise. And that's where that's why they come to me because I'm a done for you service. So that's the first one. And the second one is really getting the mindset really in the groove of not doing your advertising based on desperation. I get a lot of people come because I have an ideal client where they have to tick boxes before I work with them. They have to have good mindset, minimum staff, all these things. Um, and it's really funny. My PA, if I forget to tick a box, we have this really in depth onboarding process. And if I miss a box, she comes at me. She's like, "Decline. We're not taking them on. They're not in this right. That you haven't ticked the box." I'm like, "Okay." But mindset is really huge because they come to me and they're like desperate. They're like, "I've got the team, I've got the space, I've got the products, but I've got no clients, and this is do or die, Millie." When they come to me like that, I said, you need to really sit back and look at yourself, and you can't come to me wanting advertising switched on if you're in desperation mode, that scarcity mindset. And if you're in scarcity mindset, it just seeps through everything and it kind of just, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Energetic wise, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I agree with that because everything will be through the lens of there's no clients out there, there's no team out there. Actually, I don't really want you in my salon, or I don't believe that you want to be in the salon. So let's speak to that a little bit because that mindset's going to have a flow on effect in how they approach marketing. Do you want to give us some examples of how that can be impactful so we can really understand or recognize if like that's us?
Yes. I think, as an example, because I do what I say. That's one of my biggest things, Larissa, is that my moral compass is so effing strong. And so when I'm speaking with my peoples, it's really conviction. One of the biggest mindsets I get is I get a client in, we switch on ads, I've got everything's proven, everything we use works, and I know it. And when I have my one-on-ones with my salon owners, they come to me and they're like, "Oh, the ads are not working. I'm getting tight asses. I'm getting people that just want a discount. They're time wasters." And you know what I do, Larissa? I check them and I say to them, "How dare you project your personal opinions and emotions onto your potential clients?" I said, "You have no idea what they're going through. You have no idea who they are because you haven't asked the questions." So I think to flip that around, the solution, I check them first because it's more impactful when be like, "Guys, this is not the right thing to do." And so I say, what you have to do, the solution to that problem is you have to shift out of ego, shift out of blaming the ads, blaming this, blaming that, and shift into how can I help this person? How can they come to me? They've seen my beautiful blondes, they're my beautiful extensions. They clearly need something. I need to dig deeper. I need to find out what their human awareness levels are. I need to figure all that stuff out so that I can switch the mindset from they're a time waster to, oh my gosh, this person just wants a haircut because the last three joints they went to didn't cut their hair straight. Oh my gosh, the last person, their hair got fried. But if you don't ask enough questions, you don't know what's going on inside. That was one. I think being really self-aware of who you are as a person is really, because I had a salon back in 2016. I had it for 6 years. I walked out of that salon 180 grand in debt. I walked out of the salon worse off than I walked in. And that was the biggest lessons of my entire life was that. And when I jumped into this salon, I was like, my mindset is going to be different because the last time was just a shit show. It was like, what do you call it? I was winging it. completely winging it, and it didn't work. It could have. I look back now, I'm like, man, that could have been a very huge successful chain if I did a few things. But my mind wasn't right.
Hey, it's me again. I just wanted to interrupt and jump in here quickly to say thanks for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate you being here. Just one question though. If you are listening to this episode and thinking, oh my God, this is me, but I'm just not sure what to do, well, don't worry. I've got some strategies for you. The Salon Mastery Program will help you develop and implement a 100K team, 100K mindset, strategies and steps designed to help you lead your team to enjoy 100K careers and install the 100K mindset and motivation so you can help build that inside of your team. The systems, the processes to master the 100K day so you can build the $1 Million Salon. So I want to invite you to join me for a complimentary $1 Million strategy call. We'll discuss your business, your role in the business. Let's see if I'm the right person to help you grow your business and your team. Together, we can reach the $1 Million mark. All you need to do is click the Apply Now button in the show notes of this very episode. You're welcome to book a time, a strategy call. We'll have a chat. All right, that's enough for me. Let's get back to the episode.
The next step for that is to try, if possible, to really start being self-aware. Right? So self-awareness is what's changed my view on how I'm running my business right now. Self-aware of how you behave, how you speak, the language that you have. Instead of walking in, I'm not going to lie though, there's some days where I'm like, I quit. I don't want to do this anymore. But you've got to live it, breathe it, and you've got to really sit there and go, okay, I've had my moment, acknowledge it, love it. I love you, Millie. Keep on going. Let's go. So it's a matter of flipping that, because I do speak to salon owners and like the whole consultation call is poor me, I'm this, the economic, don't even get me started on the economic clutter. That is bullshit. I'm just saying. That is my next point. But sorting your mindset, being really self-reflective and being really aware of who you are will really help your business and your personal life, right? It's so powerful. So, because if you can recognize that, you can have your stuff sussed out, you can have your numbers sussed out, you can make educated decisions because you've got all your data as well as your mindset. Anyway, I can go on forever with that. The third one is stop watching the bloody news and stop listening to things, because I'm not cheap. I'm not cheap, Larissa. We do a lot of work for it, right? And a lot of people come to me like, oh, that's so expensive and no one's spending that money. You know what I do? I pull up my sets. I'm like, last week I had 4 clients spend $4,000 on hair extensions, color, blah, 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 blah. I had another client who spent $1,500. That is absolute bullshit. People have money to spend. I can contest to that. So I have them running in my salon every single week. You just need to speak to the right people.
Amen to that. I agree, because a cost of living crisis or a recession, it is biased. It does not affect everybody.
No, and people need to understand that. They need, not everyone is having the same issues as the next person next to them. And I'll tell you a quick story about that. When I was in the salon by myself, I love straightening. I'm Kiwi girl, born and bred South Auckland. Hello, live on the Gold Coast. And so I have frizzy hair and I love frizzy hair treatments. I had this client and she was like, oh, I want this. I go, sweet, this is how much it's going to cost. It's going to be $700. She's like, oh my God, that's so expensive. She tried to barter me down. I said, look, I'm a nice guy. I'll hook you up with a free haircut because, it's the cheapest thing other than the product, blah, blah. So do it, blah, blah, blah. And the end, she goes, oh, can I do a bank transfer? This chick bartered me. She tried to barter me down. I go, yep, okay. And she goes, can you put your bank details on my phone? I went to grab her phone to type my bank details in. This chick has $68,000 in her everyday bank account. And I was like, you were just bartering me, telling me how your rego's due and your kids, blah, 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 blah. And you want me to put my details in there's 68 grand? Bullshit. You got money. Everyone's got money. They just need to prioritize your business.
Do you know what's really interesting about that? I had come to the conclusion that the people who do the best bartering and look after their money the most, they're the ones that got the money because that's what they're doing. They're looking after their money the most. I had a really similar experience, Millie, where I had this lovely client. She was one of my favorites. We all had a really good conversation. But she always tried to barter me down, and she always tried to have the fewest foils possible. She wanted the most for the least. And it was kind of a little bit frustrating. And so on this particular day, she decided just to have the T-zone and just 4 foils just to get her through to the next one so she didn't have to do the whole head. So I said, that's fine. Anyway, we're halfway through the service. Her daughter, teenager at private college, walked in with her new jacket. She'd just been over to David Jones and bought the new black jacket with all the bling. And the mum was like, "Oh, that looks lovely on you, dear. Thanks, Mum. I really appreciate it." Like she was bartering me down so the daughter could go to, David Jones and buy $1,000 jacket. And that was my moment when I was like, okay, she's making choices. And the reason she has money is she's choosing. She's making really proactive choices about what she's doing with her money. She ain't short of money.
No.
But in that moment, she was not choosing me. She was choosing the jacket. So people have choices. We just have to be so good they choose us.
They choose. You got to have good value. You got to be the priority. And I talk about this because it's all part of the system. Advertising is not like when people come to me. Advertising is just a small piece. My job is to get salons leads. Their job is to chat them, bring them in, put them in the chair, do the client journey from A to Z. And I think that A to Z journey needs to be on point. Like it's got to be the smell, the look, the feel, all of those things. And that comes down to mindset, and that it needs to be projected in the marketing and advertising as well.
Yeah, I think you're right, because the minute we start to feel the financial pinch and we pull back, that's the moment we start to shrink and we tell the world that we're shrinking and we're not growing. So when we stop putting the nice oils on, we stop putting the flowers on reception, and we stop buying all the products, and the retail shelves are empty, like we're in shrink mode and we're on our way down. This is not the way to go forward and to grow a business. So, yeah, get out of shrinking.
Stop shrinking. It's really funny though, because it does make sense. When I first went into my business, and we're really transparent with the salon owner I bought the salon off. We had a journey for us to go there. And she had a few buyers, and she chose me because she's like, I know that you're going to grow this business using advertising, Millie, and I trust you, because she had it for 15 years. And you're right. When I walked in, I was like, there's 3 products on the shelf. There's no color. There's no hair. And I was like, this is a hair salon with no hair shit. I'm like, oh my God. And I went and I invested. I bought all the product. Like, it looks beautiful. I even created my own shampoo range. Figure that out. Because you need it for hair extensions. Anyway, I created and I've got a whole wall of that, all the colors, all the OGs that have been coming for 15 years walking. And I did a mini renovation as well, because we're getting new clients in, so there's fresh eyes all the time. But the OGs are like, wow, this place is pumping. If you give that perception it's pumping, the feeling, it makes them want to be there. And that's what I want all my new clients to feel as well. So yeah, the scarcity mindset seeps through everything: your salon, your marketing, your team, your money, everything. So yeah, we can go on for days about that.
We could indeed. We could indeed. What is one thing, as we wrap up, Millie, what is one thing that you think, when it comes to marketing and advertising, that salon owners should do instead? If they can get their mindset right, what's the first thing that they can do? What's the first campaign, or the way that they write things, or when we're bringing back to marketing? What do you think that is?
Yep. So I think the biggest thing, the one thing that people need to stop doing and start doing, is stop selling and start helping.
Amen. Yes.
Yeah, that's what they need to do. Because selling is boring. Selling, everyone does that. If you want to be unique, start helping people. People will naturally come to you if you help people.
I think that's perfect. That was exactly the right answer. I love that. So, Millie, I know people are going to want to find you and stalk you. So before you give us all of your where to find Millie, because I know they're going to want to check you out, what would you say is, like, being a multiple business owner, what would you say is a mantra or a quote that kind of keeps you centered and focused? Something is really important to your journey. What would you share?
One of my business coaches told me 10 years ago, and I use it all the time, so I don't take credit for it at all. She said to me 10 years ago, "You are the problem and you are the solution. You are the problem and you are the solution because you're in your own bubble of control with your business, with your family, with your marketing, with your advertising. You are the only one in control of that whole boat. You need to drive it properly.
Yeah. And if you don't know how to get help,
Get
but
help." And it's,
you need to get the help.
yes, yeah, get some help if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay, great. What's a book, a podcast, or something that you've been involved in recently you think all salon owners should get their hands on?
So as you can tell, mindset is a huge buzz for me right now. Sales, the psychology of sales is a really good book to read. But if it's just a little bit too advanced, I think the next best thing is to follow a guy called Paul Scanlon. He's on YouTube, he's on Facebook, he's on all of those things, and he does really little good clips to really train your mind to look at yourself. Stop blaming yourself for the shit that happened years ago and start looking after yourself. He helps you to become self-aware in really small, subtle little videos. I think that Paul Scanlon is really smart.
Nice. Okay, we'll put the link to him and that book on the show notes of this episode. All right, Millie, where can we stalk you, find you, your salon, your marketing, all of the places?
Okay, so if you want to have a look at my salon, it's called Show Off Here. Make sure you like and comment on there, and you can see some special little strategies that we do for advertising. You can find me on. I'm real personal, so if you can find Millie Clay and add me as a friend, but it's Milly. People spell it Millie. I don't know why. Anyway, and on Instagram you can find me Millie Clay Coach. I would love to talk to anybody. It's all about helping and looking after each other in our industry because we're rising up, sister. That's what's going on.
I love that. All right. Great. We will stalk away. Appreciate your energy. Appreciate the message. It was right on point. Thanks for joining me on the podcast today, Millie.
Thanks for having me, hon.
And that's a wrap. Thank you so much, Millie. I couldn't agree more with what Millie had to say. You are your biggest roadblock in your salon's growth. You are the problem, but also you are the solution. And if clients are coming in and complaining about prices and trying to get a discount, it's because you're attracting them and you're letting them. You need clients to feel and experience the value, and the right clients will choose to prioritize you in your salon. Because Millie and I have both experienced, and I'm probably sure you have too, not every client is struggling. Some clients have a whole load of cash sitting in their bank account, and others are buying their daughters $5,000 jackets while negotiating with you to only have half a head of foils. Just speaking from experience. I hope this episode has inspired you to self-reflect and adopt a new mindset around marketing specifically. Thanks, Millie, for joining me on the Salon Owners Collective podcast. Hey, look forward to seeing you next week. Same time, same place. Ciao for now.